Welcome back to today's game show. I am Bob Barker. This is my girlfriend, HR Lady.
Hi.
And today we're going to be breaking apart this 100-question pre-employment survey that is obsessed with knowing if you've ever stolen or done drugs. Now, this job is a legal assistant, so all you're doing is Microsoft Office programs. You're not even in charge of money, really. It's pretty insane. So the reason that she's here is she knows all the questions that you can't really ask, or you shouldn't ask, and all the questions that you, as the employee, should not be answering. Begin here. Did you, within the last 10 years, cheat on a test at school? Can you ask this? Who's going to answer these honestly? I mean...
You should not, is the point. The point is these are all trap questions. You should not be answering them truthfully. I know honesty is the best policy for most people, but when it comes to this kind of thing, you don't have to answer.
Have you, within the last 10 years, cheated at cards? Oof, got me. I've never cheated at Uno before in my life.
10 years? How long ago is 10 years?
Have you, within the last 10 years, switched price tags on merchandise in a store so that you could purchase an item at a lower cost?
What does that have to do with being a legal assistant? You select no.
I'm pretty sure that's not how barcodes work. You can't just put a barcode from one thing to the other and then check out.
You do not have to give this information. It's not even verifiable. So if you put no, how do they know? If you put yes, you just gave them the answer.
Have you, within the last 10 years, taken merchandise from a store without paying for it?
In other words, have you stolen? No, obviously.
You never gotten the 5-finger discount before?
You click no.
Have you, within the last 10 years, helped someone else in stealing?
Have you even known if you have?
If you were at work and you saw a customer stealing, what would you do? A, approach and accuse the customer. B, tell your boss. C, call the police. D, say nothing, would not want to get involved.
Okay, so this is an actual trap. You can't touch them, really, is the thing. They're trying to see how you would handle situations if you're like an inflammatory person. So, of course, you tell your boss. That's what you do. Calling the police isn't really going to do anything. You probably have security on premises or something like that. And honestly, I would probably not want to get involved. But why would you answer honestly? B, tell your boss.
What about option E? I don't get paid enough to deal with this shit. And option F, reverse Uno, I am the customer. They're asking you to stereotype people. Do you think that everyone sometime in their life will steal? Like, what is this?
How are you supposed to know? Are you an expert? I'm not an expert. I don't know. Like, how do you answer this? You say no. They're trying to trap you based on, do you think it's normal? If you think it's normal, that means you've probably done it before. Just say no. Not everybody. Yeah.
This just asking you to accuse people just to see like what type of person you are. It's a trap. Have you only taken money when you were in need?
No, absolutely not. This is a bigger trap. They're trying to say, oh, but you needed it, right? So I'm sure that you've stolen. No,
it's
say
okay.
no.
If you needed the
not,
crack money,
yeah.
It's different than if you stole the crack
No.
money. What? No.
But here's the not applicable. Like, you can't even say that. No.
Do you believe that most people are basically honest? What if they're complicatedly honest? 11. If you're at a checkout register and the cashier gives you too much money back, you do what?
I mean, you're probably like, wow, I get an extra $50 today. Let's go get lunch. But like, tell them, no, you gave me too much, give it back. Obviously.
You don't consider yourself lucky and keep that cash?
I mean, maybe in reality, some people would, but you give it back. This is a trap. Don't fall in the trap, you guys.
How often have you had an alcoholic drink with lunch on a
Never.
weekday?
You say never, no matter how many times you've come back with your girlfriends from a lunch date.
13. 13. That's how many. No. How often? 13.
Josh.
In the last 10 years, have you tried an illegal drug? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. This is a trap. How are they going to verify
I think
this?
This isn't a fair question. We need to ask, in which states is it illegal? Why is that not on here? You know what I'm saying?
No, because it's federal.
How illegal is the question we're asking.
These are the kind of things they're looking for. This is why the trap questions exist.
This is so dumb. They're just trying to. They're saying, please be honest. We'll reward you. Except they're going to do the complete opposite.
They're not. They're absolutely not.
Who's going to fill this out? In the last 10 years, have you tried an illegal drug? If so, what kind?
Tell me all about the illegal activities you've done. Come on. Don't answer these.
Smokable kind.
Oh my God.
The snortable kind. The injectable kind.
Okay, But honestly, if you answer this thinking honesty is the best policy, like, they're not going to hire you, number one.
The edible kind.
But also, you're giving them information that they don't know unless you tell them.
If you caught your child shoplifting, what would you do?
I don't have kids, so.
But what would you do?
Well, I mean, obviously you make them go back in and return it. That's what you would say. You don't say, wow, mommy got a new gift. No, you literally bring it back in. You can't fall into this trap.
You gotta high five them and say, good job, son, daughter. State your opinion on the proper punishment that should occur if an employee gets caught stealing.
This isn't even for like a
capital punishment. Capital punishment. Bring back the guillotine 2022.
I mean, maybe
what is this question?
This isn't even a question for the job position. You're not somebody who makes that call. You have to play the game. Play the game, answer what they want, say, well, obviously they should be fired, or obviously they should have a warning and be reprimanded.
How much money, all added up, would you guess that you've taken over the last 10 years? Now, is this before or after expensive?
This is really just a choose your own adventure application. Like,
how much money have you within the last 10 years taken from previous employers?
None. I mean, a paycheck, you could be funny and say a paycheck. Right?
No, you can't. You have to put the amount. I've taken 30 grand.
Salary in there. 30 grand and like what, Post-its?
What do you, I don't know. How much merchandise have you taken?
How do you equate one pack of Post-its, maybe? I don't know. You say zero. Obviously, the answer to these are all zero.
How much would you have guessed that you have shoplifted?
See, okay, so they've asked you this question like 3-4 times above, like, do you think it's okay? Have you ever done it? And if you always said no, but then over here you said 10, they're just trying to trap you.
Do you believe that most employers expect too much from their employees? Yes.
I mean, yes is the answer, right? But you can't say that. You have to say no, because they are not going to hire somebody who thinks they're not going to bend over backwards for them.
Have you, within the last 10 years, received unauthorized discounts from your friends at their place of employment? Bro, you asking me to rat my friends out now?
Yeah. Okay, this one's real bad, right? Because technically you didn't do it. So how are you going to answer? You still got to play the game. No, you would never have friends who would do that, because you are who you hang out with, right?
Does it ever make you angry when a supervisor repeatedly tells you what to do? Yes.
I mean,
fuck off.
Oh my God. This is when you become Josh and make your own business. But you say no because you can't give
I love unbuckling. Give me that. Balls deep. Give it.
You can't give
suck 'em off.
any indication that you are an angry person in the workplace for any reason, or they will not hire you. You're playing a game.
Have you, within the last 10 years, knowingly purchased hot or stolen merchandise? I mean, not knowingly, but you know, sometimes you just get that sweet discount and you can't say no.
Even no.
You just can't say no to a discount? It just, why would you know what I'm saying?
But also, the answer is no, I've never known that. I wouldn't have done it if I knew. Like, you have to play the game. These questions should not be even asked. None of these are related to the job. They're all questionable and create a lot of risk for this business, but they will ask you anyways with some kind of disclaimer. So please never fall into this trap. Don't even work here. Don't apply to this. Don't take this from an employer.
If you're given this job, do you think that you may at some time be tempted to steal from it's a freaking legal assistant. What are you gonna steal, bro? What am I gonna steal? The CD key for Microsoft Office? No, it's a remote job. What are you gonna steal?
No, you're gonna steal from your own office. I'm gonna go steal a drink from my fridge real quick.
Must strive to provide to be a platinum level performer. What is a platinum level performer?
I mean, that's subjective, right? What does that mean?
A willingness to embrace our unique and amazing company culture.
Company culture. This is my favorite question to ask in your interview. You should always ask about their company culture because they really get off on it.
Have you ever been written up by a previous employer for working while under the influence? If so, what is the name of the prescription?
This is a ginormous trap for a few reasons. Number one, it sounds like this is verifiable because it's at a previous employer where you're written up. It's not. The only thing that they can verify are your dates of employment and your job title and salary if you give written consent to have that verified. So it's trapping you here. Also, illegal or prescription drugs, like what if you had a prescription? You wouldn't be written up for that because it's prescription, unless it was an old prescription, but then it's an illegal. If it's a prescription, you can't give that information anyways. They can ask for that. Don't answer this. You don't have to. None of it is verifiable, number one. Number two, it's really, really self-incriminating. Why would you do that? Use your brain.
I need to get who you are as a person. What percentage of people would you estimate are regular users of illegal drugs?
None. Absolutely none. Nobody breaks the law. I've never heard of anybody who uses drugs in my entire life. Those must be like the very small few.
Those freaking illegal drug users. But no one would ever do that.
0% is your right answer. It is not like a factual answer, but that is the right answer for this test. It's all about figuring out the answer that they want.
What would you do if you caught someone stealing from you? They're going to catch a 45 to the kneecap. What would you do?
I mean, if we go back up to those answers there, it might just be I don't want to get involved. But obviously, you say I would confront them and ask how to rectify this in a nice manner that wouldn't lead to escalation but would resolve conflict. That's how you would answer this question. But honestly, you'd be like, F that guy, we're not friends anymore, get out of my house. Call the cops.
No, why would you call the cops? You just say, oh, he said he had a gun, and then you take yours and pop him in the kneecap. Duh. All right. So, do you have any gambling debts? Can you ask that?
Why would you ask that is the real question. Why would you ask about gambling debts for somebody who's going to be a legal assistant? I don't know that you can ask this question. Obviously, they found reasons they can because there's some kind of law firm. I really think it has something to do with the disclaimer that says we won't use any of these answers against you. But that should be a big red flag for you to not answer any of these. Honestly, if you do have gambling debt problem, please go seek help. But for this purpose of this application, you don't, okay?
And do you have a good credit rating?
Some places can check your credit, like if you're going to be handling a lot of money at a bank or if you're going to work at a jewelry store, something like that, you are able to ask those questions.
This is a legal assistant.
That is for checking your credit. This doesn't really have anything to do with being a legal assistant, if you ask me, unless they handle that kind of stuff. But also, they can verify that for you with written consent. You do not have to answer that on this application. So say, I have a great credit rating.
The thing with credit is that it's not always in your control.
It's not. What if you have no credit history because you're fresh out of college and never had a house or a car that you paid for? Or like, there's so many factors. It's unfair. These are unfair questions that shouldn't be held against you.
Yeah, or like you sign on a loan with someone and that person screws you over, and then you have bad credit.
Yeah.
Like,
what if you
know
got
what I mean?
a divorce and it ruined your credit because your spouse cheated on you and you had to get a divorce?
Do you agree with the statement? Everybody steals a little from time to time, but it doesn't do any harm, right?
This is another question that's just like all those other stealing questions. They're trying to catch you again, going, okay, every other answer was right, but this one, well, sometimes they might. Well, that's saying, well, one day I might steal from you. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Listen, if you were in a position to judge a person for stealing $100 in cash, okay, specifically not gift cards, would you tell them to repay the money, give them a good talking to, just let the whole thing go this one time, or find out if they had a valid reason?
Give them a good talking to. Does it include a spanking? Repay the money? I mean, definitely don't just let the whole thing go. You probably don't want to be the one giving them a good talking to, but that might be okay of an answer.
Look at this question. Find out if they had a valid reason to steal.
Well, I was
valid
really hungry
and
for
steal.
lunch, and I lost my lunch money today, so I needed it for lunch. It was gonna be expensive.
What is this? Who wrote this? Okay.
They did. It's a trap.
Employees steal from their employers because they're not paid enough. The company has so much money they won't miss it. Probably that one. Or C, they're dishonest. The CEO has enough boats. He has enough mansions. He's not going to miss another Lamborghini,
But
okay?
that is not the answer.
Okay, yeah. There's definitely because you're a dishonest piece of shit. 40. How many times have you shoplifted in the past 10 years?
Why are there so many different ways to ask this one?
Dude, these people are
question about
obsessed if you're
stealing?
stealing money or
They're
merchandise.
trying to catch you with like 12, 15, 100 different questions that all have the same idea. Like, why?
Look, what percentage of people do you believe steal from their employer?
0. Oh shit. Look, you have to pick.
You can't even put 0.
Well, I guess you pick the smallest amount, 5%. Like, it's so funny though, because this could go one of two ways. They could say, oh, well, you're just being an idiot and you're blind. Or you can say, I'm a good person. I don't believe anybody else is a bad person. Like, they're gonna read into this how they want to, obviously, or they would have given you a 0%.
Have you, within the last 10 years, damaged someone else's property because you were getting even, you were just a kid, or you've never done that? It sounds like the answer is A for you. Let's move on to the next one. Do you think it is easy to get away with stealing?
I mean, no, you say no.
It's 100% it's easy. It depends on what you're stealing. Where's that option? It depends on what you're taking. Are you robbing a bank? Probably hard to get away. Are you taking candy bar? Then. Do you think it's all right at times to steal cigarettes, soft drinks, lunch money, and small items from work?
No, you can steal cigarettes from work.
What a weird thing to bundle in. Soft drinks, lunch money. Oh, by the way, the tobacco products, you stealing those?
I'm confused.
Look at this question, 56. If you found a wallet with someone's ID and $100, would you A, call it and return it, B, take the 100 and throw it away? Option C here is what we would all do and say, oh, yeah, I found your wallet and there was no money in it, but if you'd like it back, here you go.
No, you call it and return it. I'm a believer in that because people are dumb. I've lost my wallet so many times.
Sorry, fam, there was no cash in it when I found it. Is it important to you to be right most of the time?
Obviously.
Do you sometimes lie to get your way?
I mean, everybody. But say no. A white lie doesn't kill anybody. But also, you say no because they don't want liars or obviously like thieves.
Have you within the last 10 years sold illegal drugs? Whew, good thing. 11 years ago. 15 years ago, they call me a little Escobar,
People make stupid decisions in their lives. 10 years ago is a long time. If you have learned from your mistakes and moved on in your life, why should any of these things be held against you, especially when it comes to like making an honest living? You answer no. That's not verifiable anyways, unless it's going to show up on a background check because you were like arrested or something.
Have you within the last 10 years been in a physical fight at work? If so, why?
A physical fight. As HR, I deal with people who have been in physical fights.
It's because they kept interrupting me in this collaborative, innovative, open office. And if you do that, if you come touch my desk and move the shit on it, we're throwing hands. It's just, meet me in the parking lot, nerd. Do you have any friends that use illegal drugs?
You are who you hang with is the question they're asking you. So you say no. My friends are amazing people and they would never do anything like that ever.
Do you believe that everyone has a little dishonesty?
No, everybody is honest. They want you. You can't be a realist for these. This is a trap. Everybody is honest. Because if they're not, then you aren't either.
Do you think if a person's underpaid by his employer, it's okay to steal? Why would they ask that unless they're about to underpay the shit out of you? Are you serious? Have you stolen only small things because you had a good reason?
No. Okay, but
not
also
even a
that's
candy bar?
subjective. What is a small thing? Like, but
candy bar.
So you say no. No, I've never stolen. I paid the 86 cents for my candy bar.
Have you within the last 10 years been so angry with a coworker you exploded and told him off?
In my head. I bite my lip a lot.
100%. Dude, the passive aggressiveness at work where you know you hate each other, but you can't say that because you have to be professional is so dumb.
But it's like real.
I'm going to tell you to eat a bag of dicks.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever falsified a job application? No, dude, I would never do that ever. Never lie on your resume. That's bad. Never
They're asking
do
you
that.
this to see if you just lied on their application.
Okay, so again, this is for a law firm that they say will not be used against you here. None of the answers you give in this survey standing alone will be used in the hiring decision. I like how they say none of the answers by themselves will be used, but all of them together will be. So,
If it says they're not going to use it against you, okay, so if they see an answer they don't like on here, they won't say that's the reason we're not hiring you. They'll find another legitimate reason that they're not hiring or what they consider legitimate. You're just not our culture fit.
Dude, that's the best one
like
for
that.
discrimination. You just
use
say it
this
didn't fit a
against
culture.
you and
You got to ask the question, who hurt these people? Nobody just asks these, like, clearly they don't trust anyone. They don't trust you. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust anyone at all because they've asked the same question literally 100 times. Do you think it's okay to steal? Have you done drugs? If so, what type of drugs? And can you hook me up? Just kidding. They didn't ask that part.
Most of these questions are things that we would advise against when doing interview training for new interviewers, right? At a job, we give training for interviewers, for managers and stuff when they're going to go interview.
I can't imagine what went through the CEO's mind or the HR person's mind. They go, you know what would be a great way to find out if people are liars? Let's ask some liars.
Okay, well, and then you run into problems like this that would make any HR person just squirm in their chair all day.
Anyways, that's all we got today. Thank you for playing today's game show. This has been HR Lady with her expertise on why this is complete garbage. And if you enjoyed it, please click like, subscribe if you want to see more corporate nonsense get called out. And share the video. I probably don't apply to this place. This is a fucking garbage company.
If you ever see an application like this, run away.
This is high quality.
Run away.
This is a high quality troll meme post right here. I can't believe this is actually real. Thank you for sending it in, by the way, viewer of the channel. I appreciate you. That's all we got. Hope you have a good one.